What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another weekend with your boys here at the Blown Save podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us again. Before we get started, don't forget to follow us on social media. You guys know the deal. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. You can also reach out to us at theblownSavePodcast@gmail.com. Go to the website, theblownSavePodcast.com, and then you can send us messages through there. You guys can reach out any way you can. Go check it out, guys. We got a big show, so let me bring in the one, the only, my compadre, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. RT Casas. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I missed you. We didn't get a chance to rendezvous last week because I was surprised with the little Valentine's getaway. That was kind of a last minute thing that I didn't know about, so it was a surprise. So I'm sorry we couldn't find a time to jump back in and finish up last week. So we got a bunch of stuff to talk about last week. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about this week. Did you do anything special for your little lady last week? Right on. That's what happens when you're married, right?
COVID, if it wasn't for COVID, we'd probably do something. But I mean, we didn't go nowhere, dude. We don't go nowhere.
Yeah, they got you on lockdown, which is good, I guess. We're keeping you safe. You're getting over a little bit of a cold, right?
Yeah, man. I caught a head cold. I'm one of those people that never really hits me like completely. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I'm down, but I'm not out. I'm against the ropes, but you can't hit me down and knock me down to the rope on the actual floor.
Yeah.
That's the way it is, man. And all of a sudden I get like little moments of burst of energy where it feels like it's gone, and it comes back and kind of gives me a little jab straight to the face again,
A little reality check.
But, yeah. So right now I'm kind of like, I'm standing, but I'm a little woozy. But damn, man, I was hurting on Wednesday and a little bit Thursday night, yeah.
Okay.
No, Wednesday night, and then Thursday, like.
Pick a day, bro. Pick a day. You're throwing days out there like crazy.
Man, my students were bearing with me. They're real good kids, man. Because they could see and like hear me. My voice was hurting. That's why I was saying, like, Wednesday night, like I felt like I had the head cold part of it, right? But then Thursday, like in the morning day, dude, my throat was hurting so much, and I had such a hard time giving like the lesson that I was working on with the students. But today was a much better day, and I feel better. I'm not fully recovered, but I feel better for sure.
Well, thank God it's that and not COVID. So, big ups to that part. Well, we got a big show because we're bringing up stuff from last week, and we got to bring up stuff that happened this week. So let's just jump into it. All right. Real quick, let's hit up the PGA. Yes, we're talking about golf, guys. I mean, we are a sports show, so let's at least touch on it. All right. One of the guys I follow, Mr. Brooks Koepka, won the Phoenix Open in a comeback fashion, netting $7.3 million for the win. Actually, right after that, a photo came out on social media, showed that Koepka, in a bit of rage, broke not one but two sets of irons across his knee because he had missed the final cut in the previous two tournaments. He grabbed a new set and took the win in Phoenix. So maybe get rid of the old pieces of crap and get with the new ones, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. Never heard of the dude, but all right, that's interesting.
Kepka's up and coming. I like him. He's won a few, so I'm rocking and rolling with him right now. Yeah, man, like, fuck. He didn't have to break them, though. He could have donated them. I'm sure somebody, I would have taken them. I'm sure they were like $5,000 set of irons and shit.
Easily. I mean, there's still a whole, another 11 irons at least, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he broke them all. He broke two sets.
Oh, 2 sets.
Yeah. No, he broke 2 sets of irons.
Oh, well, now that's different. Give me the club heads. I can replace the shafts.
There you go. Hey, there you go. Something else going on right now. The PGA of America has announced last Tuesday that it would allow distance measuring devices in its major championships, including at this year's PGA Championship in Kauai Island. One of the main tenets of the decision was that it would help speed up play. Everybody's talking about speeding up sports. Like, why are you speeding shit up? But many unnamed pros and caddies have said that they are opposed of the rangefinders on tour this year, and that it would have the opposite effect on the pace of play. Artie, what do you think about that? Because I know, like, you and I, we're stupid amateur freaking golfers. Or should I say super stupid amateur golfers. You play a little bit better than I do, obviously. But when we use range, I mean, we don't really use the rangefinders. We're just kind of guessing, put our fingers up, and go, all right, that's like 100. Let's go.
Right. I think it's really cool when people have those watches, that they play with. Like your buddy, right? He has like that $300 watch, right? That tells him like anywhere that he's at and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think those are really cool. There used to be a really good app on the iPhone, and I used to use it with my Apple Watch, but it became not very reliable, so I stopped using it. And to me, it was really good. It was when and you just take a quick look on like that watch, and it tells you, hey, you're 300 yards, 200 yards, 160. Makes it a lot easier to decide what club you're using. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think it also takes away from like if you're competing in the actual sport, dude. Like that's part of the mental part of it. Like it's almost like in some ways, I don't want to say cheating, but like it takes away from part of the game. Like dudes that played this game way back when, they didn't have that advantage, so why all of a sudden do we start in incorporating that? Now, some people argue like, wow, the clubs are a lot better than way back when too, right? Touche, right? Like I get that, but that's part of the evolution of sports in general, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, man. I'd be curious to hear what some of the other dudes really want to say, dudes that come on the record.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, like, at the amateur level, but I don't know how big it would be at the pro level. Like, I want to hear what their thoughts would be.
Well, just recently they started allowing it at the collegiate level. Before you weren't allowed to do it. You could do it all the way up until the collegiate level, but you can never do it on the PGA Tour. You can never use it at the collegiate level up until this year. They're starting to do it. I found out the last time I went golfing 2 weeks ago that I have an app for Samsung that actually does that, and I was able to use it, and I went with Dennis, so he had his little button thingy, so we were testing them against each other, like, how close or whatever, compared to his $300 whatever dollar one that he had, compared to the app I had, and it was within about 1 to 2 yards difference. Okay. And it's fairly accurate. It goes off of my phone and stuff like that, but it's fairly accurate, and I was like, wow. Like, I wouldn't, like, I thought about buying, like, the little thingy that he had. I found one, like, an older version of it on like, OfferUp or whatever for, like, $60. And I was like, well, let me try my watch first before I go buy this little thing. And so far right now, I mean, I've only used it once, but it's worked out really well. So I think I'm going to stay there. But I think you're right. If they use, like, those kind of things, then I think it would be, it wouldn't take too long. Like, you could just kind of go, like, all right, that's 185. All right, cool. Let me grab the 5 and let's go from there, whatever it might be, right? But if they have like the full on like little rangefinder and stuff like that, like a bunch of the caddies were saying, like, that's why I have my books. That's why I go and I walk the greens and I see where things are and I know from here to there and I listen to that. He's all some of the caddies were like, you're basically going to take half of my job away. And my expertise, because you don't really need me to tell you how far it is to the pin, left, right, center, wherever it might be at this point. But the caddies are like, they were like, hey, I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing because nothing's going to beat what I do because I've been doing this for 20 years. But there may be that little line where things are starting to get more technologically advanced and they're going to start using them. Like I said, this is the first year. They're trying them out. Do you think they stay or do you think they go?
I think they end up staying. Honestly, I think it's always going to be one of those, like, technology stays that it rarely goes, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think that they might have, like, a limit on what you can use? Like, maybe grab one of those little watches or one little beeper thingies like that and call it a day? Like, you can't pull out the full-on little scope thing that they got going on, and then they're like, what do you think?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe even timers of how long. I mean, they put timers in baseball, bro. Like, baseball never had times.
Yeah.
Timers, time clocks. So if they did it on baseball, I can see them doing it in golf,
Right on. All right. Cool. The PGA Pro-Am that happened last weekend was actually not going to have, didn't have any amateurs or celebrities playing this year. There were still 156 notable professional players, both men and women, at the event. Hey, Artie, who holds the 18-course record at Pebble Beach?
Tiger Woods.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I actually had, you know what's funny is I forgot that I had written that down because it was last week. I had that set up for me for the thing, and I can't remember the thing name. I'd have to go back and look. It was a whole article I was doing that, the whole record, stuff like that. So I apologize, Artie. I don't know it off the top of my head anymore. It's because I got another question lined up for you later on in the show. So I was like, but it wasn't Tiger Woods. I was surprised that it was, because it was like some guy I'd never heard of.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure I might have heard of him, but I mean, I don't know. I don't follow it that much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I haven't. I mean, I usually followed like the majors. I'd watch the big matches, and I usually only watch on Sundays, sometimes Saturdays. But just because we've started golfing a little bit more, well, now by the time you are allowed to golf again, I'm gonna be better. So, it'll be good. I'll catch up to you.
Did you see the documentary on HBO of Tiger Woods? It's a 2-episode series, maybe 3.
It's 2. 2 episodes. I did get to see it. It was really nice to see like him growing up, the dynamic of how he became who he is, like how his dad had like since he was shitting in diapers was making him, playing like that, that kind of like you got to go all out to win. But the only thing I really didn't like about it, they kind of shot him down a little bit, his dad and him, in the second episode, and Tiger Woods wasn't even a part of this documentary. So he didn't get a chance to talk about anything on his side. Like, he wasn't even a part of it whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Well, I wonder if he had that Michael... So I get the whole Michael Jordan kind of syndrome from Tiger Woods. And it's funny because you're like, oh, it was nice to see. I didn't think it was like really nice to see. I thought it was interesting.
You're right. It's interesting to see his growing up.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I was really seeing that, and I was like, oh damn, like a lot of stuff. I thought it was interesting, like I said, the whole dynamic of him, like you said, his high school days type of thing, with that ex-girlfriend and whatnot. But then you start seeing the story being unfolded, like the way Tiger just did people dirty. He just kind of like secluded himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that never feels bad for people that do other people dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Tiger. Like, dude, he's a multi-billionaire. Like, I don't feel bad for multi-millionaires or billionaire, whatever he is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't feel bad, man. Like, you're choosing to do the things you do because, I mean, you have access to it, so you could push. What more can I do? What more can I get away with? And stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they have access to all this, which is why they mess up and why they cheat on their wives and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They just have easy access to it, and people just fling themselves at them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the one story that I heard they were talking about that I kind of chuckled at, and I was like, well, I think that's his like killer instinct when it comes to him playing golf. He was playing against Rory McIlroy. They were hitting together, and Rory was like talking like, because he was right on Tiger's heels at the time, and Rory like cranked this drive out, off from a driver or whatever. And like hit it as hard as he could, like 320 yards or whatever, this and that. And he was like, oh, that's pretty good. And Tiger just like, all right, cool. Like, I'm about to break this dude's spirit. He pulled out his hybrid or his wood. I forget which one it was. And he freaking hit it like 40 yards past him with the hybrid. Like, I don't even need the driver to take you out right now. And it like Rory.
I thought that was Lefty that he did that to. And then Lefty
no. It wasn't.
Lefty asked him, "Hey, do you always hit it that far?" And he said, "No, I usually hit it further."
That was because that was when he played Mickelson. No, I'm talking about when he played Rory, because those 2 different ones.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my favorite little, like, I guess Michael Jordan moment.
Yeah.
You want to call it that? Like, just being like, oh, you did that? All right, cool. Let me show you real quick.
His killer instinct as a golfer, though, is really impressive.
It is.
I was surprised to hear them not talk about at all with him doing the whole Lance Armstrong thing where he was doing the blood transfusions and stuff like that. I really thought they were going to get into that because, I don't know, man, I feel like that kind of got swept under the rug with regards to Tiger Woods.
Is it cheating? Is that what, in golf, is it cheating? Is it not? Like, I've never heard of a scandal like that because of it. It came up. I do remember hearing about this, 15 years ago? But it was one of those things where it's like, it's golf. You got to walk down a thing, and you got to swing a club. Is that really is doing the blood transfusions really gaining anything on your swing or gaining anything?
Yeah. But,
you know what I mean?
We're not talking about anything because then it's like, oh, steroids don't swing a bat for you.
Steroids make you stronger, though.
So blood transfusions keep you fresher, which in turn make you stronger.
Fresher,
yeah. That's the whole point of them doing it, is to switch out the blood so that they have like white blood cells or something like that keep your body fresher.
Okay.
So that's why I was just like, I found that interesting that they didn't talk about that. I kind of wanted to get some perspective. I feel like he just kind of said, we'll just skip that part. You know?
I think they were more interested in the whole cheating scandal against his wife and his situation with his dad. I think the first part was just basically how he grew up and the situation with his dad, and then the second part was basically dealing with all of his stepping out on his wife and stuff like that. Yeah.
You know what I also found interesting that I was like, damn, that kind of sucks, was the whole the dude from the Masters, how he just came and chastised Tiger Woods like into the public and was like, I don't even remember everything he said, but he read like a big old public statement. They're like, oh man, they're like, I forgot who the dude was coming on there and talking about like, man, you think they'd do this if it wasn't Tiger Woods, if they'd be making that kind of statement? Because you know, like the boys kind of club type of thing.
I know what you're talking about exactly. Yeah,
Tiger's not one of us, or blah blah blah. You know.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoa, man, like I don't remember some of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew that dude. Like I didn't know who that girl was when she came over there, like his main mistress or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know who she was because I didn't follow it that much. I knew like that dude was stepping out on this chick and stuff.
He had and this is probably a side note, right? But he had a weird taste in women because his wife, really like gorgeous, perfect, and the two women that came out in the documentary or whatever, I'm like, that is what you cheated on,
right?
I mean, to each their own and everything, but
yeah, I agree.
But just like, come on.
Damn, how dark was it when they met? You know, jeez.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad.
Like, dude, like she's a walking.
Compared to the other two, she's the freaking 10.
Jeez, Louise, man.
I mean, she's up there regardless, but I was like, wow.
Yeah, I think she's beautiful. I really do, and I'm just like, wow. When I saw the other ones, I agree. So last side note, I had not seen the video or anything like that of when that dude got arrested for being under the influence.
I had never seen that either, bro. That was wild.
Yeah, I was like, geez, this dude was like barely standing. And it almost kind of felt like they were making fun of him a little bit too, no?
A little bit. It looked like they were kind of, it looked like they were intentionally looking at it that way.
Right? And then they were saying, like, recite the alphabet backwards, but don't sing it. And I was like, I can't.
I was like, Z, X, like, shit.
Z, Y, X?
No, you already failed because you can't say, it has to be Z, X, W. You have to, every other one, they said.
Oh, jeez, yeah. That was stupid. I was like, get the hell out of here. What? I can't do that. They're clearly under the influence. They're like, I was like, yeah, man. Did you ever see that? Okay, off topic. Did you ever see that video where that dude was drunk? He was like a cowboy kind of dude, and they told him, hey, walk the line, this and this and this and that, blah blah blah. And this dude walked, and he's clearly drunk as hell, right? And he walked the line and he danced and blah blah blah, because he did like this line dance, right? That the cop was trying to get him to like, mess up on, and the dude does it. And then the guy's like, damn, how'd you do that? He's like, I don't know, I'm drunk. I swear, it's a real video.
I have to look that up.
Dude, I was like, because you could clearly tell this dude drunk. But, bro, he nailed everything that the cop asked him for. And then he's like, the cop's like, how'd you do that? He's like, I'm drunk. And I was like, oh, my God.
You almost got away.
Bro, right? He was like, he must have been like, bro, I gotta let you go just because of that. Let me drive you home.
Hey,
all right, let's move
this is a perfect caveat. I know you said it's kind of off topic, but it's a perfect caveat talking about the next story because we're gonna leave golf and we're gonna go right into the NFL. Joe Buck is in the hot seat right now after comments made by battery mate Mr. Troy Aikman. In an interview, he let it slip that they've had tequila and drinks in the announce booth while they're calling games. So they've been sipping on some tequila here and there while they're calling games, which to my thing, like, okay, because I've seen games where like Troy Aikman's eyes look like bloodshot, like, dude, like he won't, like you're hungover, bro, like something's going down, right? And maybe I know some shades of people, they change shades when they're drinking, right? So I'm thinking, man, like that must have been one of those games where this was throwing him back with freaking Joe Buck. And Joe Buck's actually a little upset. He's like, people shouldn't be talking about him, and he'd never really do that. It was more of a joke, this and that, yada yada. But it's like, bro, if you had a drink, you had a drink. If it didn't impede your work without you getting in trouble, then it should just be kind of a brush off. Like, yeah, dude, we had a couple drinks here. It is what it is, right? My biggest thing is that people always complain about how bad Joe Buck is on games. And usually, and this is why we have a 3-drink minimum, because we get better as the show goes because we're drinking. Why doesn't Joe Buck get better? It just seems to get more annoying as the games go.
Maybe the reality comes out, and that's why he gets annoying, because you see his homerism kind of pop out. He's like one of the, like this dude is not an impartial announcer. Like, you could see his homerisms on whatever team he really likes. Like, it is slanted. Like, he's a big Cubs guy. I heard he's a big Green Bay guy. Or am I wrong?
That one I don't know. I know Troy Aikman would slap him upside the head if it was true. It was the case, but
he's just so bad, dude. Like, he's bad, man. Like, I'd rather not hear the damn game he's announcing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, and so that's why I was saying, like, well, how is it that usually when you drink, you get a little looser, you have a little more fun, but you just made things worse. Maybe don't drink, dude. Maybe it'll be better that way, Buck. Yep. So.
Part of that good old boys club where he only got in because of his daddy and he only stayed in because of the name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I really think it has a lot to do with that because he's pretty bad. And there's a couple of those dudes out there like that too.
I mean, at this point, just put you and me out there, bro. We'll make things more enjoyable, and we'll let people know ahead of time. Hey, bro, we're having some drinks. Okay, this is how we operate. Right. We gotta talk about Super Bowl because we never really talked about it because this is last week, right? Or we were supposed to talk about it last week. Tom Brady is officially and unequivocally the GOAT. Did the refs miss some calls in the game that went the Bucs' way? I think so. Mahomes was doing some crazy ass passes and just he was doing everything he could to help that team win. But the receivers couldn't do shit, man. They couldn't help themselves and they couldn't get out of their own way. You put it on here. The stone hands for the receivers. Like, they couldn't catch a cold if they tried.
Yep. A lot of karma with them, man. Like you said, little karma for Hill. That's exactly what it is. That dude runs their mouths. There's some of those people that they don't have any humbleness to their game. Like, you don't hear Mahomes talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, when do you hear Mahomes really, bragging and going all out? Like, he says things in, jest. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But he doesn't give, and I get it, it's his thing, the peace sign as he's running away. But, bro, if you could dish it, you better be ready to get it, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's why nobody's, over there, going at Mahomes all hard, talking smack. You hardly, where do you see that in the media? Anybody saying, oh, Mahomes is overrated. He got paid for way too much. Bro, dude, Mahomes came and played. He had that one throw where, he was, vertical. You know what I'm saying? To the ground, parallel to it, or whatever you want to call it. And he threw that ball 40, 45 yards?
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
And on a dime, too. He threw it on a dime. It wasn't even out of, he should have caught that.
Yes, yeah. And the receivers were just dropping. Other than Kelsey was who we thought he was, right? He did his thing, Kelsey was a beast. But nobody else did anything. There was no running game. None of the receivers broke 100 yards, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Kelsey broke 100. He had to have been close, though.
He was close, but I don't think he broke 100.
Yeah, I don't think he broke 100 either. But he had a ton of catches, and he's the only one that had any big catches.
Yeah.
Kelsey's the only one.
They shut down that passing offense.
Is it me, or they didn't score a touchdown, right?
No. It was 3 field goals.
That's the first time in Mahomes' career that in the NFL
he never scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, man, but you know what? Is that really Tom Brady, or is it just a Tom Brady effect? You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady wasn't playing defense, bro. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady ain't playing defense.
Definitely think it's the Tom Brady effect.
None of the dudes that Tom Brady recruited, aka or whatever, supposedly, were on the defensive side of the ball.
This is true.
You know, so like, I don't know what to say with that. Like, I have no answer. I'm just telling you like what it is, right? Like, Tom Brady was not on the defensive side of the ball. He did all right on offense. You know, he did what he always does. He manages the game and doesn't really turn it over, and scored, right? Like, scored a field goal here, touchdown there, and defense took over.
Yeah.
It was definitely, I feel like some of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever seen involved Tom Brady. But some of the best ones involve him too. But like, it reminded me of the Rams game, you know, where they just kind of controlled the Rams. And remember when the Rams were, they were a really explosive offense that year, and same thing, they only had a touchdown and like field goals and stuff like that. Like, that's the way I felt this game kind of came down too. I was really surprised because Mahomes, I really thought this was like the passing of the torch for Mahomes.
Yeah, like, I think everybody was on that one.
Yeah, so I was really surprised. Really surprised. Glad I didn't bet on that game, I'll tell you that.
There you go.
Glad I did not bet on it. But that clearly cements him as the greatest ever.
And then Matthias, where he tried to say that Tom Brady went over there and said like some racial slurs. Didn't realize that Tom Brady had the microphone on his on his uniform or whatever. They went back and caught the audio, and he was like, "Oh yeah, never mind."
He deleted the tweet, right?
He deleted the tweet and he deleted the Instagram post.
Yeah, what was Brady saying though?
He didn't say. He didn't say what happened afterward. They asked him, "Hey, what did Tom Brady go and tell you?" And he's like, "I'm not going to say what this man said, but you know, it was something that shouldn't have been said. It was disrespectful. This and that, blah blah. But I'm not going to say anything." He made it sound. I wish I had it in front of me, right? But he made it sound like Tom Brady was saying something racist, and he put that tone in what he wrote and what he was saying. And
you're telling me all this stuff I already know. I'm asking you, what did Tom Brady?
Oh, I don't even know what he said.
Okay,
do you know what he said?
How do we know he was mic'd up then?
I don't have the thing in front of me. I know that they have the transcript of what he was said because they had the audio. Because they have the audio of Tom Brady's conversation with him.
So I find it interesting that they don't say what he said. I didn't see anywhere. Now I saw what you're talking about with Hill, but I never saw them come out and say, "Hey, Tom Brady said this. Tom Brady said that." He did not say this. So I'm not a full believer on all that, because right after the game, Tom Brady made sure to go and apologize to what's the name? The Honey Badger. I forget.
Yeah.
He made it a point to go apologize to him. Now, why would you go apologize if you didn't say anything worth apologizing for? Things that make you say, And I saw the same thing. Now, it probably wasn't a racial slur, but it was probably him talking smack. And I think the audio, because I believe that all that stuff's manipulated, especially towards, one of their golden child is Tom Brady. Like, for example, like one of the big things that they just hide under the rug, or they throw it under, is like Brady with his politics with regards to Trump, right? Like, I didn't realize he was like, well, they don't come out and say it, but like that he's a big Trump supporter, and they just don't want the majority of the nation knowing that. Like, I told a couple buddies, they're like, "Oh, damn, I didn't know Tom Brady was a Trump supporter." They're like, "Wow, is he really? Has he really come out?" And I'm like, "Dude, like, they talk about how he was wearing a hat one time, and yeah, officially he hasn't come out and been like, yeah, I'm a Republican, I support this and this and that, and that's fine." But I feel like it's them trying to protect the image that Tom Brady has, and I don't think less of the dude for being a supporter or not, but I'm just saying the way it's being played out is, I feel like it's a whole image cover-up type of thing, or protection. And this is one of the things I'm talking about, because same thing, I asked you if it was really that clean. You should have known what he said. Like, it was just something like, "Nah, you know what? Hey, you can't touch me," or you ain't doing nothing.
Well, he said, okay, so I have it right here. Matthew tweeted that Brady called him something I won't repeat, and said, "Yeah, I'll let the media throw me under the bus as if I did something or said something to him." And then deleted that shortly afterward. But Brady also reportedly apologized to Matthew that same night for his role in the exchange. The analysts are saying it was just two guys competing. That should be the end of it. And it is what it is. But they're saying, yeah, they have not released it. The only other time they talked that Brady said something, he told Matthew he was coming for him, went after him, and then reminded him, "Hey, I got you."
Like I said,
the cover up.
I mean, yeah, ain't telling me nothing I don't already know, man. You ain't telling me anything. That's what when I hear things like this, I'm very hesitant to believe it all. Like, that's not true. I don't believe it. Nobody that didn't do anything wrong would ever go apologize right after the game. Why would you? If you did nothing wrong, if there's audio because you're mic'd up, right? Now, do I think it's racially slurs and stuff like that? I don't think that either. But I think it was something that was maybe direct. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere in between, but I don't think it's like as clean as they're making it out to be.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm with you.
Right, again,
you don't apologize for. You're right though. You don't go and apologize for something you didn't do unless you're married and you got to just do that for the wife. But whatever.
Yeah, like everything you just read is like, well, you're not telling me anything I hadn't heard. Like that's them trying to tell you like, oh, let's just get rid of this, you know?
Yeah.
Let's forget about it, you know? And I bet you someone told that dude, hey, go delete it. It wasn't him just backtracking what he said. It was someone like, hey, you know what? How much you need for us? How much we need to pay you to go and delete those? Like, and I'm not even kidding, you know, because the NFL is like that, bro. They got money like that. Hey, what do we got to do to get you to delete that? Why do you think there hasn't been any comments on his behalf of like, hey, why'd you go delete that? You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't that be the first thing that someone else asks him?
Yeah.
Like, hey, why didn't you go? You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be my first instinct. Hey, why'd you go delete it if it was true and blah blah blah? You know?
Yeah.
Sweeping in the rug.
The world may never know.
Oh, I already
know. We got some postseason awards. Any surprises there? MVP, Aaron Rodgers. Offensive Player of the Year, Derrick Henry. Defensive Player of the Year, Mr. Aaron Donald. Or Darnold, sorry. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Mr. Herbert. And Defensive Rookie of the Year, Mr. Young. So,
I just feel like they went with a big name with Young in terms of Defensive Player of the Year. I had already told you that I thought they would go that way, but that's not who I thought was really deserving of it. Darnold maybe a little bit too, you know, like I was seeing the stats with regards to Darnold and what's the name, Watt's little brother, is it TJ? TJ? Like, dude, I was seeing the stats and I'm like, oh my god, man, this might have been one of those times where again the name won it as opposed to like the numbers on the field.
Yeah.
I really feel that for sure for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. But the rest of them, the other three were clearly deserving. I did take Darnold because of, you know, my homer pick, you know, LA guy. And I did not take Young because I thought that one that they would go with not the non-big name. But again, it's NFL protecting images and stuff like that. So, boy, was I wrong. When do you ever see surprises with like these awards, bro?
Not a lot.
Doesn't win, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. It's a popularity contest to a certain extent.
Yeah, like you rarely ever see like, oh man,
the little guy took it.
Like, yeah, bro. Like every single year, it's like the main dude that everybody thinks it is the one that runs away with it. And when I say they like run away with it, dude, it's not even like, oh man, it was close, right? Like last year was Lamar, the year before was Patrick, right?
Yeah, Mahomes.
This year was Rodgers, you know. The year before that, Kinsabe. But it's always like I feel like they push the media towards picking that dude. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
And I feel like that, like for everywhere, for across the board, you know, like with Darnold and, well, I mean, freaking the quarterback from the Chargers though, that dude broke records. Remember we're looking at that and we're kind of going back and forth, and you went with someone first.
Yeah. And
then I started looking at that dude because I'm like, man, this dude had to have been close to breaking records. And then I went and looked, I'm like, oh damn, he did break records. You know, I'm like, I'm taking this move. So I know you took. So me and you flip flopped on that because I think you took Young for the Defensive Rookie.
Yeah.
You took the other dude. I think you took the receiver, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, the receiver for.
Yeah, because he broke the single season.
He broke a franchise.
Yeah,
record.
Franchise record.
He didn't break NFL.
But how many times does that happen realistically, bro?
Franchise records? More often.
Rookie year.
NFL records. You know.
Yeah.
More than NFL. I'm more impressed with NFL as opposed to franchise records, to be honest.
Well, they're obviously because that's everybody. Fool, calm down.
Right. Exactly.
Speaking of NFL records, man, you're giving me every single pass through or freaking what is it, a segue into everything we're talking about. I love it, dude. Keep doing it tonight. You do it. The Hall of Fame came knocking for some players and a coach. We got Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson, Calvin Johnson, John Lynch, Alan Fonseca, Drew Pearson, finally, Bill Nunn, and Raiders and Seattle's Seahawks coach, Mr. Tom Flores. Even, I think it was Bud Light or Coors Light, one of the two, had a online campaign trying to make sure Tom Flores got into the Hall of Fame already.
Oh, nice. Can't say that I know who he is.
He's the first Hispanic head coach. He was the first Hispanic coach to win a Super Bowl. He was on the Seattle Seahawks when they won one, I believe. Or the Raiders. I think he was on the Raiders. No, he was with the Raiders because he was he took over for John Madden for a minute afterward. But he was there with John Madden when they won one. But I mean, back in the 80s when you were like 2. No surprise with Charles Woodson, Peyton Manning, Calvin Johnson has had a lot of people like, hey, if Calvin Johnson can get in, what's up? You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on Calvin Johnson going in? People are complaining. They're like, he doesn't have the stats. He doesn't have the pedigree. He doesn't have this, and that. And I'm looking. Okay, I wish people could see the video right now, but I have the same way you're doing right there. I'm like, huh? How? Why? Like the Detroit Lions, I was going to say Tigers. The Detroit Lions have nothing without him being there for all those years.
Bro, he has a single season receiving record for one. That dude almost had 2,000 yards receiving in a year. You ever seen those? You ever seen any of those video highlights where that dude's being guarded at the line by 2 people?
And he just jumps up and yanks something down.
Or when he goes downfield on like a Hail Mary, and this dude has 4 people. They play the triangle on him. You know, and I hadn't seen about that.
4 people and a triangle, huh?
Why? You said 4. I didn't say 4.
You said 4 people on him.
You said 4. I didn't say.
Check the tape. Somebody rewind 15 seconds.
You said 4, not me. I said 2 people at the line, and then he goes down to the end zone, and they play the triangle on him. Okay, and I didn't know what that was before until I don't even know where I saw him. But basically, one dude plays behind, the other dudes are the 2 in the front. Basically, one is supposed to be blocking each hand. And actually, you know what? I think it is 4 because there's supposed to be a 4th dude that is facing the guy that they knock it down that comes towards him. Because there's one, like that. And they saw the breakdown of how it's supposed to. And this dude goes up there, like you said, and just jumps up and takes it from all of them. He does like, you know how Hopkins had 1 catch?
Yeah.
Like that this year, right? That dude, like, if you see his highlight tapes, he has like 6 of those. Like 6. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say 6. And I'm like, damn, dude. Like, that just, it's amazing. I think he's in a class by himself, too. I just think people are bugging about it because he didn't play like 20 million years.
Yeah.
Like some of these other receivers. But, dude, just because he didn't play forever, he was elite the years he played. He did.
Yeah.
He
never declined.
Yeah, he never declined, and he just finished at the top. That's the thing. So what do you want? Like, for them to be like a Michael Irvin, who I love Michael Irvin, but Michael Irvin started declining on his career. You know, that was one of my favorite receivers. I know he's a Hall of Famer, but to me, he used to be I thought he was underrated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was always like, man, dude, people are hating on Irvin. I think he's so underrated. Like, he's one of the toughest receivers in the NFL,
yeah.
I thought. But he played, you know, some of these dudes played longer than they should be playing because they're like, oh, man, you know, the namesake, stuff like that.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah. And then they just go and they fade and they're not very good. You know, they don't know when to say goodbye. And Calvin said goodbye at the top of his game, dude. Like, just like Barry Sanders in Detroit. Like, I don't know, man. I think they're hating, you know? I think they're hating. I think he was elite. He has records. Yeah, he doesn't have rings, but, I mean, not a lot of people do. You know, I mean, not a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Peyton and I thought those 3 to me were no-brainers first ballot Hall of Famers. Peyton, Charles, and Calvin. No-brainers first ballot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you get to watch the their announcement stuff?
No,
like
how? I didn't get a chance to watch
if you get a chance to, and you guys at home, if you guys get a chance to go check them out online, they have when all the Hall of Famers now were they had the door knock. They go to the door, knock on the door, and hey, congratulations, yada yada. We want to thank you. We're going to bring you to Canton. Peyton Manning's was probably the most elaborate one that I saw of the bunch. Charles Woodson, they had him set up like he was doing an interview, and he was just chilling by his pool doing an interview, and then he's like, what happened? And he turns around, and the freaking dude from the Hall of Fame's there. He's like, hey, Charles. And he's like, wait. No. You guys do? It was one of those like, am I getting punked kind of things? Yeah. Drew Pearson. I saw Drew Pearson's. His was really nice too. He was crying. He's like, fuck, dude, like I'm finally there, right? The original 88. At least for the Cowboys, the original 88. Calvin Johnson's were pretty dope too. They knocked on his door. It looked like legit he would like just woken up. He had like a beanie on and he was just kind of like, what's up? And yeah, and then Peyton Manning's was I think the most elaborate and the best one that I saw, because he was out there I think doing a promo of Peyton's Places that they have on ESPN Plus. He was doing a promo for Peyton's Places, and behind him all of his coaches lined up on the goal line. And he kind of like, he was like, what's going on? What's happening? And they were like, and they each said something about him while they were coaching him. From all his coaches from like high school all the way up. And the dude from the Broncos was like, I didn't have you as long as most of these guys over here. I only had you for a couple years. But we went to the Super Bowl. We won it together. You were the greatest. And while he's talking or whatever, right? Behind him is the Hall of Fame dude, right? Behind Tom Brady, I was gonna say he'll get his. Peyton Manning, and he kind of like walks over, and they're like, "We got one more person that needs to talk to you," and they like point the other way, and Manning turns around, and he was just like, "Oh fuck, like are you serious? Like this is happening?" And the guys, did his little, we like to welcome you to Canton and this and that, yada yada, and he started crying. His kids ran out there, gave him hugs and stuff like that. One of the daughters was wearing Indianapolis jersey, the other one was wearing the Broncos jersey. But it was nice. Like it was really nice. They really hooked him up for that. But if you guys get a chance to check him out, Toads Flores is pretty cool too. But it was pretty dope. If you guys get a chance, check him out. Yeah.
Let me ask you, what makes Pearson? I always have this debate with people. What makes him a Hall of Famer now, as opposed to
back then?
Yeah. You would think the numbers were not as high because now it's become two-hand touch. And I'm not saying I don't think he is not a Hall of Famer. I think he is. I think he was overdue. But the numbers don't stand out the longer he's been away.
Yeah.
They stand out more when he first kind of was up for it.
Yeah.
Why is he a Hall of Famer now supposed to be forward?
Honestly, man, I couldn't tell you why it didn't happen before and why it's only happening now. I just know what Aikman, what Irvin said, what Emmett said, what Roger Staubach has said. Like, there's just no reason why he shouldn't be there. But he wasn't there before. He's there now. He's the original 88. He was the guy that always caught those Hail Mary passes from Roger Staubach. And Roger was like, there is no Hail Mary pass without Drew Pearson. Right. There are no. He's like, I don't have these highlights without Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson has, it's been too long that he's not here in the Hall of Fame, and finally he's there. Granted, it's a senior inductee, but hey, a long time coming, well deserved, I think.
Yeah, I just don't understand that. Like, I really don't. I mean, I think he's deserving for sure. You know who's another dude that I think is going to have to be a senior inductee too, and I mentioned him last year at this time. I'll give you a hint because we talked about it last year.
Last year, this time, we didn't have a podcast yet. Our 1 year anniversary is still 2 weeks away.
Okay, so maybe it was afterwards because I do remember talking to you about it on the podcast.
What is it?
I remember breaking down the numbers, and you're like, "Oh, damn, I didn't know that." Zach Thomas. I think it was.
Oh yeah, you gave me the whole player A, player B. Tell me which one's better. Exactly. This one is in. One of them's in. One of them's not in yet. And then I remember.
Who the other guy was by any chance?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I just remember the conversation.
It was Brian Urlacher.
Oh yeah, and he was in, and Zach Thomas had blown him out the water with the stats.
Yeah, man. Like, but again, it's the
popularity. Yeah.
Yeah, popularity. And I honestly think Zach Thomas is going to be a dude that is going to get in by like the senior.
I think the senior inductee is from the players union. The other one isn't necessarily voted on by the players. So I think his due is coming pretty soon.
Yeah, because that's a dude that I don't understand why he's not there. Urlacher's there. I get it. Popularity counts, but man, dude, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, dude. And Pearson, again, that's a dude that transcended, 88 with the Cowboys,
Yeah. I mean, there is no 88 when you want to look at it that way with the Cowboys without Drew Pearson starting it. So let's rock and roll. Yeah, let's shut up, Artie. I love you, man, but shut up. Oh, here's one for Anthony out there. Go fuck yourself, Artie, all right? Jesus Christ, I haven't thrown one of those out in a while. From Hall of Famers to gamers that are now here and future Hall of Famers, a lot of changes are happening in the NFL right now. J.J. Watt was released by the Texans. The Jets are the rumored team that he's going to go to. I hope not. Like, I hope he doesn't go there. Like, so bad.
He's not going.
Please don't go there, JJ.
He's not going down there.
But where do you think he'll land?
He's going to land either with his brother in Pittsburgh.
That'd be dope.
Because he wants a shot at a Super Bowl, so he's not going with the Cowboys. Nah, just playing. But I do think he does want a shot at a Super Bowl in reality.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Pittsburgh was having a good year this year. I mean, they kind of collapsed at the end. But if he has a choice to be able to go to...
Why not play with his little brother?
And play with his brother.
Yeah.
He is a contender. They might not win it, don't get me wrong, but they're going to be in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? And they could make a run again like they did this year. And, yeah, man, I could see him going over there. And his brother's in his prime right now, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Come on, little brother, make that push.
Yeah. I also saw, Hopkins was like, hey, come over here, let's finish what we started in Arizona.
Yeah.
I think Arizona is, a couple players away from being contenders too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, are they going to win it? I don't know, man. I feel like there's still puzzles over there. I feel like they're young. But, I mean, damn, this dude would be a very nice piece to that puzzle. Reality is, I'd like to see him with the Cowboys, be honest, and stay in, the Texas area. I think of JJ and I think of Texas. I get he's a Houston guy, that but I mean, staying in Texas would be nice, and playing for the Cowboys, that's a big name. They need him, that's someone that could use a dude like him,
Yeah, that leadership isn't there.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, those are some teams I'd like to see him. If I don't know, dude. I just don't know. I don't know the landscape of the NFL that much, but I would think he'd want to go with his brother in Pittsburgh. I mean, I would think to me that'd make the most sense,
Yeah. The only reason I think he'd go to the Jets is a money contract, just getting paid out.
Money though.
Yeah, but get one more big one and get out. So we'll see. Hopefully he does it. I prayed. I like the idea of him going to play in Pittsburgh with his brother. I like the idea of him staying not in Dallas, but in Texas with the Dallas Cowboys. I like him going to Arizona. It's right by Texas, so he can still help with all the charities and stuff like that he's brought up and made there in Houston and stuff. So it would be interesting for if he went somewhere with like the Jets or Jacksonville is also another name I heard getting thrown around. But okay, so JJ's out. Watson, what do you think? Where's Watson going? Is he staying? Is he going? Where is he going?
I already told you. I think he's out too, man. It's just, man, I think they're over there. I think the Texans feel like, man, we cannot. Please don't go. Please. They're doing everything they can behind closed doors to make that dude happy. But I mean, man,
they're getting rid of all the ballers. Why the hell?
What's gonna make them stay? So now they're also probably just shopping them. They're probably telling them like, hey, what do we gotta do to keep you here? And at some point, this dude's like, you know what? Sorry, but there's nothing you can do for me to stay here. So then they're gonna get to that point where they're like, well, what's the most we could get for this dude somewhere?
Yeah. No, I'm with you there.
That's what's going to happen. And I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, you put Watson, Dak trade, gaining a lot of steam. Social media. On
social media, people are talking about just go ahead and trade Dak over to Houston. Straight up.
Bro, no. Watson's way better than Dak, man. There's no way. They'd have to be giving up. I mean, it'd be badass if Dallas got him, but let me tell you, they'd have to give up a hell of a lot more to get Watson because Dak ain't cutting it, though, bro. He's not cutting
I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's what the social media scene, the Cowboy threads that I follow and a part of, or the forums, they're throwing that out there like, just fucking straight up, trade him out, let's go. And I'm like, no.
fans. Cowboys.
That's not happening.
Nation for you right there.
Yeah. Speaking of getting out of there and not being happy, Russell Wilson, he is not happy about his old line protection. Do you think he starts asking, why don't you get me the hell out of here? Or
No, I think he stays there. I think he just really does want some old line protection. But it's not him. It's his camp, right? Like,
yeah.
his people that are saying that because Russell's a good leader. I like that guy. I like him a lot, man. And I don't think Russell would ever say himself, but I do think Russell is saying it to his people, and his people are kind of speaking on his behalf. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he doesn't want to be the one. He could be like, "Hey, man, I didn't fucking say, bro. I would never say that. Come on,
show me a paper.
Show me the receipts."
Yeah, right. I didn't say that. Like, my people, they must have misunderstood. But yeah, man, I couldn't. Well, I mean, it's true for his life and throwing on the run every single time he gets sacked. I mean, he's a mobile quarterback, and this dude he looks like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl running for his life. I read somewhere that Patrick Mahomes ran 600 yards in that Super Bowl. Total, like, how he scrambled and stuff.
Yeah.
That he ran, what was equivalent to like 600 yards in that Super Bowl.
Damn.
That's crazy, and I could see it though, man. He was scrambling like crazy, left and right, and that's kind of what I feel like what was happening with Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Another quarterback you got here lined up, one of your favorites, right?
Mr. Carson Wentz. Thank God he's out of Philly, I guess. He didn't have problem. I didn't have problem with him anymore. But he's headed to Indy. It will be interesting to see the quarterback battle in Indy this coming up season. I don't think there's going to be a battle. Wentz is not going to be the starter. So it is what it is. But Philly now has. Who was the dude that was there? It was the guy that took.
Philip Rivers is done.
Who was okay? So before Rivers went over there, it was the dude from. Yeah. You think Wentz is better than him?
I think Wentz is going to start. They don't trade. I don't think he's a lot, but I think he's going to start. I think Wentz it just didn't work out. Wentz was a pretty good quarterback. That was just
till he got hurt. I think till he got hurt, and then he started playing scared.
He was 10-2 when he got hurt, right? Bro, everybody talks about okay, so like I told Joe, right? They're like, oh, he sucked, blah blah blah, and I'm like, man, he still has one more ring than Dak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not like he didn't earn that ring, dude. He had that team 10-2. They won that division because of him. He was playing like an MVP caliber player that year. He got hurt.
And if it wasn't for Foles kicking ass too, it would have been right back in the game.
Right. And then Foles just being so good and doing the Tom Brady, on Tom Brady. Like, dude, he won a Super Bowl ring. You still win a Super Bowl ring, right? Like, there's so many players that wish they could have won. Yeah, he might not have won it the way he wanted to by being the dude and taking him. But the truth is, I mean, he got. They don't
get there without him.
Yeah, for sure. And he won a ring, man. He won a ring. Charles Barkley, I bet you was chasing rings like that. Karl Malone, dudes I could think of more in the NBA and baseball.
Just get me on a squad, I can just win something.
Barry Bonds, like another dude. Mike Trout wishes he could have one. Like dudes like that.
You can have plenty of Mike Trout bashing later on in the show, all right? Right now we're talking football. Stop it! Stop it! He hurt me so much, man. He's hurt me so much.
Fine. There's a baseball guy you want to talk about.
All right. There is kind of a transition into baseball right before we take a commercial break here, guys. Tim Tebow is to retire from baseball shortly after it was announced from the Mets camp that he was invited back to spring training this year. Can you really retire from a sport you were never really in? He never made the big league roster. The experiment did not work out for him. He is the second professional athlete to try and make the jump to baseball and not make it to the major league roster. Who was the other? And we will answer that after the commercial break, guys. So we're going to take a 30-second commercial break. We're going to take a 30-second commercial break, guys. We'll be right back to answer that question, see if Artie knows who it is. And we'll see if you know who it is. So, guys, take a look, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, and we are back. I hope you guys enjoyed whatever sponsor they threw out at us this time. Thank you guys for listening to the sponsor. It does help us out gain some revenue. But I digress. Let's get back to it. All right, Artie, I asked you before we got out here, Tim Tebow is the second professional athlete to try to make the jump to baseball and not make a major league roster. Who was the other?
Okay, so I got a couple guesses, man, but I could be wrong here.
Give me your gut guess.
I just think it's because of who you're saying, but I mean, I kind of feel like there's multiple answers though, and here let me explain why. Okay, we could say Russell Wilson. You know, he got drafted by the Yankees and was in minor league camp. He didn't make a major league roster, right?
He hasn't really like gone to actually play though.
Yeah, he has. He's gone to the spring camps.
No, but I'm saying he hasn't gone to like actually like let me make the roster. Tim Tebow was actively trying. Russell Wilson went to go because.
That's what I'm saying. Like, technically, Russell did. Not like he was trying to make a career out of it, but he went.
I'm talking about people that went to go try and make a career out of it.
Okay.
Made the career switch.
Okay. The other dude I could think of that comes off my head, I believe his name was Drew Pearson, the Cowboys quarterback. I don't know if that's his name, but that dude was trying to play with the Yankees too. He was trying to play with the Yankees. But I believe, I could be wrong, he went baseball first, and then it didn't work out in baseball, and then went football.
I'm trying to go the other way. I'm trying to go into baseball.
Yeah. You didn't say that, though.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Answers.
So that being said, do you have a third name?
I'm not wrong with Drew Pearson, so technically right.
It went backwards there, but...
You didn't say that, though. So, you said did not make a major league roster.
Okay, he did not make the major league roster, you're right.
That's the only other one I could think of. You said major.
He's a pretty famous guy.
I could think of dudes that did make it. Michael Jordan's another one, too. He went from basketball to baseball.
That's who I was referring to. Michael Jordan. He went to baseball to try and make the major league roster. He went to do a career change, and he couldn't get out of the Barons, I believe, was the team he couldn't get out of before he started messing around with basketball. Went back and won 3 more championships with the Bulls. But Michael Jordan is the name we were looking for.
Okay, let's see how I gave you more.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. We learn so much from the professor every time we talk.
Yeah, I wonder. Wow, John Elway never left either, though. But John Elway wanted to play baseball first too, when he was with Stanford, and the Broncos. I think part of the contract that the Broncos gave him stated that he couldn't go play baseball because he really wanted to, and they said, well, I read the story or heard it somewhere that they said, well, how much money is it going to take for you not to go do that at all? You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's not happened because apparently that dude was a stud. You know, well, so like Kyler Murray, that dude's the first player to ever be drafted in the first round. I believe top 10. Correction, top 10 in both the NFL and
MLB
and baseball. Can you name the only player that's been drafted in all 3 major sports?
Basketball, football, and baseball?
Uh-huh. It's a famous guy. Played for the Angels.
Bo Jackson?
Nope.
He played for the Angels.
He did?
I
believe he played for the Angels. I have an image in my head. I could have sworn he played for the Angels.
Bo Jackson, yeah, he played for the Angels. I have an 8x10.
The guy I'm talking about.
Okay. No, who is it?
Dave Winfield.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Who did he get drafted by in football?
Yeah, I know. Read it for sure.
Okay.
I read it. He's only due to I can't even tell you who got drafted by in basketball. But he's only due to ever get drafted in all 3 sports. I'm gonna Google it. Meanwhile, you
Google it, Boot. All right, we're getting into MLB here, guys. MLB is said to deaden the balls this coming up season. We got our boy, Mr. Gilbert Garcia. He's heading out to Costa Rica this week, I believe, or next week. So we're going to get some inside take on what's going on. Once again, if you guys don't remember, way back at the beginning of the podcast, we had him on here, and he was talking about the baseball cores, and the company that he works for manufactures those cores to very specific measurements and all that other fun jazz. Now, what they're not going to change the core. They're going to change how they wrap the ball. So you know how if you guys have ever ripped open a baseball before, there's all that threading that's around the actual core, correct, Artie? Yeah. Okay. I need some feedback there. And what they're doing is in that first, I think they said quarter inch, they're not going to wrap it as tight, so that there is still there's a little more cushion in there for when the ball makes impact with the bat. And it's supposed to not change the weight, the size, or the aerodynamics of the ball. All it's going to change is the way the impact happens with the ball and the bat. What do you think about MLB deadening, as they call it, the baseballs this season?
I don't know. I think... So what I've told you before is I think the shift created players more home runs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They started focusing more on launch angles because the shifts came into play. And I kind of feel like they want to, if they're deadening the ball, as you say, I think they kind of want players to focus on creating more batting averages. You know what I'm saying? Like hitting the ball over the field. I don't know if that's going to happen unless they start kind of creating some kind of outlaw with the shifts as well, too.
What?
It's like, well, you could only bring this dude over this far. You can't bring him over that far. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I heard that they were also in talks about you could only do the shift X amount of times in a game. So you can only shift over 4 times, and you can only max out on a player twice during a game.
Yeah, I think some of those shifts have hurt players' numbers now. You know
Absolutely.
And it's changed the game.
All right. Some other changes that happened this year. I mean, oh, by the way, Gilbert said he's going to come and jump on again with us to be a special guest once he gets back from Costa Rica and spends a little time with the fam bam because he's going to be out there for about a week or so. He's going to jump on and give us kind of an inside look or hear or sound or whatever you want to call it, a little interview or some updates on what's going on with the baseballs, what he saw over there, what they're doing with the new baseballs, with the quote-unquote deadening and the wrap and all the other stuff that's going on with it. So I can't wait to hear about all that. I know we had a lot of people hit me up and they were like, bro, I didn't know that much went into a baseball or the cores until I heard your show that one time. And I was like, well, shit, all right, cool, thank you. So hopefully we'll be able to get him on here in a couple weeks and he'll be able to kind of break that down before before we get too far into spring training. So that'll be interesting to see. Some of the changes this year to the rules of the game are coming down from MLB and MLBPA. 7-inning doubleheaders, which is something you and I both didn't like. The active rosters are expanding to 28 active players in September. Each team will be allowed to carry 5 taxi squad players, which is basically like a COVID, your COVID, what do they call it? Kind of like the COVID bench, if you want to call it that. So if somebody goes down, they're able to call somebody up immediately, and they don't have to try and bring somebody up from the minors, because last year, obviously, we didn't have any minors. The minors are coming back this year, which is good. But they're going to be able to carry 5 taxi squad, or like in football, they would be the practice squad guys. Yeah. All right. The player on second base at the start of extra innings to avoid marathon games, quote unquote, is going to be back as well, which is another thing you and I both disagreed on. This ain't softball. This ain't freaking adult league softball on a Friday night, guys. Let's fucking play the game as it's meant to play. If you're already going to give us 7-inning doubleheaders, just fucking play the games as they play. I mean, it's just something I did not like. And the biggest... What?
That's because the Angels, aren't they the first ones to like screw that whole thing up?
They were the first ones to actually have it happen, and yes, they were the first ones to screw it up. It worked against them, so fuck that shit. What else? Oh, the DH is not... The universal DH is not happening this season. I told you it was probably not going to happen this season. There was a lot of talks that it was right there. It was going to happen this season, but... at the end of the day, MLB and MLBPA said not this year. The Players Union was hoping for a universal DH, but MLB was not ready for it, so maybe next year. I'm telling you, 2022, 2023, I think it's going to be a reality. There will be no expanded playoffs this season, which you're going to be excited for because no more 3-game series. Yeah, the proposed 4 teams instead of 6 teams from 2022 was scrubbed last month. Nothing has been set in stone, though, so it might change. But as of right now, they're going back to the original way that the playoffs are going. So there is that. It could change, though. Last year, they changed the amount of teams, whatever. It was going to happen right before the break, or their break, if you want to call it that. And so it could happen again this year. They might expand it again. But as of right now, it is back to normal.
You want to hear something funny? I see on Twitter and stuff like that. I saw that, San Diego Padre fans were kind of talking smack about the Dodgers and they not being in a real championship, blah, blah, blah. And then it was funny because someone tagged the Padres when they were celebrating on the streets after they beat the Cardinals in that little opening division 3-game series round.
Yeah.
It took them, all 5 games to be able to win it, and they barely won,
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, says the team that's celebrating a playoff round that never existed before, and before getting swept out of the playoffs. And then they kept going, right? So then they're going back and forth. Oh, well, the Dodgers bought their championship. Yeah, says the San Diego Padres team that only has one dude on their roster that was actually drafted by the team. Do you know who that is?
No.
I know this. Danielson, Lament. I don't even know why I said Danielson. I forget. Lament. The pitcher, the one that was doing really well last year.
The cement guy. Yeah. I ain't talking about.
Yeah, and I think it's half of the Dodgers rosters, homegrown players.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got some free agents. I'm with it. I get it. I'm first, but dude, Seager, Bellinger, Kershaw, Austin Barnes, those are all homegrown dudes. Like dudes that with Kenley Jansen. You know what I'm saying? Like Bueller, Urias, May. All homegrown players, dude. So when I hear people talking that the Dodgers are buying championships, bro, you're a joke. They're probably in the top 5 in terms of having players on their roster that are homegrown.
Yeah.
They're probably top 5, maybe top 10 for sure. But I bet you they're probably top 5 in terms of percentage of how many players they have that are homegrown.
I'm with you there.
You know what I'm saying? So I found that interesting. Hey, so getting back to the Dave Winfield thing, it's even more impressive than I thought.
Uh-oh.
He was drafted by 4 professional teams.
What?
He did not play hockey.
What other professional? Okay, go for it.
He was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, Utah Stars, the ABA team. So that's who the other professional team is. Remember the NBA merged with the ABA before that.
Yep.
So he was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA, the Utah Stars ABA, and then the Minnesota Vikings in the 17th round of the NFL draft. How impressive is that, right? And the Padres. And check it out. So he came out of the University of Minnesota, I think, for college.
Mm-hmm.
That dude never spent a day in the minor leagues. He days after being the number 4 overall pick, that dude went and played with the
Padres. That's wild.
Crazy,
That's athletic, bro. That's having God-given talent right there.
Right?
Shit, you had me though when you said 4. I was like, he played hockey.
Right, that's what I thought too when I was first learning, because I knew about the 3. I didn't know who they were, and I'll probably forget who they are later too. Right? Maybe I'll remember. But I always knew that dude is the only player to ever be drafted by 3 professional sports.
Respect for Dave Winfield. More respect. What else we got going on here? Jesus Christ. We talked about the no expanded playoffs. I'm going to let you talk about this next story, sir, because it's somebody that you held in high regard. We're going to talk about the passing of ESPN reporter, Mr. Pedro Gomez. Sir, I'm going to go ahead and relinquish the mic to you.
Yeah, man. Again, in my past life, I used to be a sports writer, and Pedro Gomez was a sports writer as well too. He started off as one. He was a beat writer and everything, and then ESPN came recruiting him. And this dude, it just felt natural. You know, when you see reporters just like it just comes naturally to them. And you know how we all hate Joe Buck and stuff like that? Dude, nobody hated Pedro Gomez. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like he was one of us whenever I heard him doing interviews with the Latin players that were struggling with their English. So he would go over there and he talked to them in Spanish and make them feel more comfortable. And I honestly felt because of that, the players would learn more English. You know what I'm saying? Like they do better with the interviews and stuff like that, because Pedro made him feel like, hey, it's okay, it's just gonna take time. You know what I'm saying? So he was by far my favorite ESPN reporter, sideline reporter. Like I love watching that dude. He always had good, light-hearted, light-hearted nature, humanizing stories. The other one I really like is Steve Kurchin, but he's kind of like weird and quirky. You know, I like Peter Gammons a little bit too, but Peter is a little bit of a good old boy, and he's a big Red Sox guy. You know, so it's kind of hard. Pedro didn't really like show you who his favorite team was. You know what I'm saying? I believe he grew up a big Detroit Tigers fan, which I didn't even know until he passed away. So, anyways, it was really sad that it was all of a sudden, unexpectedly. I still don't know what it is. I tried to find out what it was he passed from, but bro, he passed away on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, dude, it was unexpected. He was 58 years old. I thought it was like a misprint or like something that wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I first saw it, he has a son that is a minor league pitcher with the Red Sox and is doing really well. So man, dude, like it's just I don't know, man. It feels like a deal that we just lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many Latin reporters do you really see in the media, bro? Like in the big market,
and make that kind of impact.
Yeah, man. And I'm telling you, he felt like it was just like, we have our Jaime Jarins, like saying that's a local Dodger legend, right?
Right.
But this dude's at the national level, man. Like I feel like he was one of us, man. And it was really sad to see that dude pass away and find out.
I'm sorry, man. I mean, the world has lost an amazing writer and reporter, man. So our condolences go out to the family. I feel like the last 4 or 5 shows we've had to say, we're sorry for people who passed away and stuff like that. Like, let's take a break. God, can we get a little bit of break? Just a little bit. Let's leave some people here. Let's leave some people who's making positive impacts in the world. There's plenty of people out there who are being assholes. So go get them. In no way does this show want to say, yay, go hurt people. But you know what I mean? Let the scales get evened out a little bit. All right, man. Let's get into some trades, acquisitions, and more. Let's talk about this big 3-way trade you got on here, Artie.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about it much other than what I saw, what you see on here. So I knew that the Red Sox were shopping around Andrew Benintendi. I don't know why. This dude's supposed to be, like a 4, maybe 5 tool player. And he had a really good year the year before last year. Last year he just slumped and then got hurt and boom, was done, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like people are giving up on him. People forget how well he did the year before, which was his true rookie year, right? But I guess the Royals are making a trade with the Red Sox and Mets getting involved. I did know the Mets were going to have to make some kind of offensive move once they didn't get Springer, because we were talking about that. Remember, they didn't get Springer? I felt like they needed one more bat. And they needed the holes they were looking to fill were second base and center field is the holes they were looking to fill. So when I saw their name being in the mix for this, I was like, wow, okay, they're going to be in play here. I personally think they're getting a steal, because I don't see anybody that the Mets are giving up that's like, oh, damn, they gave up that dude to get this dude? Because unless I'm missing something here, like Benintendi's going to the Red Sox, and Khalil Lee, who's a really good lefty hitter and center fielder with speed, is going to the Mets. That's like right what they need. That's exactly what they need. They need a left-handed bat that can play center field, got speed, and is young. And the Red Sox are getting Frenchie Cordero. Unless this Josh Wikanowski is supposed to be some kind of stud, a player to be named later.
Huh?
Yeah, man. Like I think the Mets got a steal. I think the Royals did give up Khalil Lee, which is to me is just a swap of preference. Instead of wanting Khalil Lee, they got Benintendi. So I can see the Royals, I guess, winning on that one. But I don't see how the Red Sox are winning on that. Again, it says players to be named later, from two from the Kansas City and one from the Mets. But dude, those are rarely ever studs. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes that turn into studs. At best, they turn into role players.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I don't see how that wins.
I mean, rarely do we see why people do certain things. So, hopefully it works out for them. And the Red Sox, don't feel bad for them. So.
Yep.
It's the Red Sox. Unless you're a Red Sox fan, you really don't feel bad for them. Who else we got here? The Oakland A's got Elvis Andrews. They got Chris Davis and a pair of prospects went to the Texas Rangers, which is pretty cool, right?
Right.
Andrews is under contract now with Oakland through 2022. Will be owed $28.5 million. Davis is making 13 and a quarter or 13 and 3/4, and as a free agent after 2021. So Rangers are only getting a rental here. Hopefully they're like, hey man, why don't you stay here a little longer, man? The A's. Go ahead.
So Chris Davis is a Fullerton guy. He's a tight end. So I liked him over there with Oakland. But I could see why Oakland did it, man, because they saw someone at a pretty decent price, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because they lost Simeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
they had to fill that hole. Yeah,
they got to fill that hole, and it makes sense for him to go over there. So yeah, I don't know. That was interesting. I could see it working. I don't understand. I still, again, that's to me one of the shockers that dude hasn't signed anywhere. Has not signed anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like that is like one of the big names.
Like what's happening? Hey,
yeah,
can he pitch? Because I could take a pitch.
You know the Angels, they like their hitters.
Oh my God! Another huge contract that came out just a couple days ago. Mr. Fernando Tatis Jr. signed a 14-year, $340 million extension with the Padres, solidifying his career that isn't going to be anywhere else. Will he live up to the money that's being thrown at him, or do you think it was too much, too fast?
I think it's one of those they're trying to get him on the cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like what he's gonna bring. He's honestly, I feel like he might be that dude that's the face of baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, Brand, I don't want to like throw you under the bus here, bro. But unless the Angels start doing something with Trout, bro, like, how could you not want to go with Tatis as the face of baseball now?
I'm with you. I mean,
you know like
this
is just the window for Trout to be still a superstar and have a shot at a title is closing, man. Like Trout's still going to be a great player, but the prime of his career, like he's got like 3 more prime years. Prime, like we're like this dude is the dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then from there it's like, okay, he's a top 10 player. Okay, he's a top 15. He's a top 20. You know what I'm saying? Like it starts
dwindling. Yeah.
Right now, you know, like these next 3 years, this dude's a top 2 players, which I know hopefully you put on there that where he ended up being. I don't want to break anything in case it's not on the rundown where he ended up being selected. But dude, did you know next 3 years he's got to be a top 3 player for sure.
Yeah.
Next 3, like to me, Gary, unless a major injury happens, which I hope it doesn't to him because everybody likes that guy. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not an Angels fan, we all like that guy. But that's what I see that the Padres are doing, dude. They have a team that has a shot at making some runs at the Dodgers and making the playoffs, you know, competing for titles. You know what I'm saying? Are they going to win one? Who knows, man? They're not battle tested yet, you know? They went to the playoffs last year. They barely squeaked by St. Louis. They ran into the Dodgers. We slapped them around. I mean, that's what we do, right? And they still, them having to win that division goes through my Dodgers. Okay, that's no way around it. And with them getting Bauer and having the firepower that they still have, I mean, dude, it's going to be hard. But there's a wild card, bro. There is a wild card. And I think these dudes are the favorites for the wild card. You know what I'm saying? They have to be the favorites for the wild card.
At this point, they have to be.
Right? So I see them Yeah, saying, hey, we're gonna bank on this dude because nobody's gonna bank on Manny Machado being the face of that franchise, bro. Not with that dude's little attitude and all the little hissy fits. Nobody likes him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he's a good ball player, but nobody's gonna get behind that dude and say, "Oh man, he's the face of a franchise." You know what I'm saying? And Tatis, everybody likes him, bro. To me, he's one of my favorite players to watch. Like, I love watching that guy, and I love watching him because he's exciting on both sides of the ball.
I'm with you there.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think he's gonna be like Trout. I don't know if he ever wins a Gold Glove, dude. Like he wins some Silver Sluggers. He was for a while he was the front runner for the MVP there, and then he just kind of faded at the end. But I think he's gonna be a great hitter. I don't think he ever wins a batting title. He's too much of a free swinger, but he's gonna be a 300 batting average guy with 30 bombs and 100 RBIs, probably 100 runs scored, and maybe like 20 stolen bases. I don't know how much. The older you get, the less you run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really the other way around. So, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I do think they're kind of setting him up to be the face of baseball, not just the franchise.
I'm with you there. And we'll get into some Dodgers and Angels here in a little bit because I'm going to add a new segment since baseball season's coming up. But before we get there, some injury news. Big man on campus here, JT Realmuto, has been injured on his first day of spring training. He fractured the base of his right hand thumb, so his throwing hand, and he will be sidelined for at least 2 weeks. His opening day start is now in jeopardy. How many fantasy football or fantasy baseball fans out there are going to be dropping him on the list? I know you said you're going to drop him down a little bit.
In terms of where I draft him, but then at the same time, if he falls really low, he might be a stealer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to be gone forever. He's just going to be gone for a little while.
But but the thumb, bro, that provides a lot of power when it comes to hitting, man.
Yep.
It might zap his power. That's one of the things I've always known is, dude, thumb injuries zap your power from hitting. So, yeah, man, it's one of those like, damn, we just threw all this money at him, and now he's hurt.
I know the feeling.
Right?
No time. But it wasn't that much money, but still, it was a lot of money. So hopefully he gets better faster, or quickly, so he can get back in the game and do that stuff. But his opening day start now is maybe not happening. Who else we got over here? Right-handed pitcher Mike. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name. He's on the verge of signing a 1-year MLB guaranteed deal with the Texas Rangers. What that means is he's basically going to make the league minimum.
He's pretty good, man. He's a dude I told you the Angels should go after. He was wicked 3 years ago, man. Wicked. And I think the Rangers got to steal, bro. I think the Rangers got to steal. He's got some control issues. But it's because he's just like kind of herky-jerky the way he pitches. Like, it's not your smooth, traditional releases and form. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, I mean, dude, if you're looking for a guy that could, a Dylan Bundy type of thing where you could harness it a little bit, this is a guy, man. He's still young. And, Brent, I don't understand, bro. You should be on the phone with the gym. Like, really? We couldn't go after this guy? Really? We had to go after Jose Cantanilla for this much money.
Quintana, Vales Madre, Quintana, whatever. Apparently, the Angels, and we're going to get into them here in a second here, but they have other ideas about what they're going to be doing. So, what is what it is. Who else is going on over there? Rich Hill and the Rays are making progress towards a deal per source. Tampa Bay has added Chris Archer and Michael Wacha to its rotation this offseason, but the depth is never a bad thing. This is correct. Anything else before we get into our boys?
I saw that wasn't Tajon Walker signed with the Mets today as well too, and he's like their number 4 starter over there. Dude, that's a sneaky sign over there by the Mets. That's not a bad dude to have as their number 4 starter.
Angels, pay the fuck attention. God, he could have got all these guys. They got like $20 million on the cap before they hit the cap, and they're just letting motherfuckers squeak away with the league minimum. $8 million, $6 million, $2.5 million. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
A few moves, Brent, and the Angels could take that division
easily.
It's not a hard division. I don't think.
Easily they could take the division. Anywho, since we're talking about the Angels, we're going to talk about the Dodgers as well here, but we're going to get into a little segment since we're in baseball season now. It's called the Los Angeles Bias Time. So we're going to talk about Los Angeles and the surrounding area because I don't want to hear your bullshit, Artie. But we're going to talk about the LA Dodgers and the LA Angels here and what's been going on with them. The Dodgers have re-signed Justin Turner on a 2-year, $30 million contract, and he will remain with the Dodgers to see them hopefully run it back. The Dodgers are on track as the favorites to win the World Series in 2021. Do you see anything wrong with that statement there, Artie?
No, it's exactly what I said it was going to be. It was.
You were who we thought you were.
I had told you that he wanted a 4-year. I think they did. Was the number exact? I thought I had read somewhere that he was signing a 3-year with a 4th-year option for a club. But I mean, I never really followed up to see what it was. But this is what I was telling you. They were just trying to figure out what's the most they could give him for the least amount of years because they didn't want to give him the years that he wanted. They say, all right, look, man, we can't pay you that much for that many years. But what's it going to take? Like, let's shorten the years and give you a little bit more money. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is a perfect fit, dude. I think he's a dude that retires as a Dodger and goes into Dodger lore. He might not going to get his number retired into the Ring of Honor or whatever, they want to call it. But, dude, he goes into Dodger lore just like Steve Garvey and Ron Say and all those dudes. Like, he becomes synonymous with those kind of players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he definitely cemented. He's an LA guy. He is an LA guy. Like, no bullshit. Fuck all the bullshit. Like, he sweats and exudes LA with the open buttons and the shaggy beard and just not giving a fuck.
Dude, and I told you, to me, where, like, it was a done deal. It was like, Dodgers, you don't resign. When that dude was the only active Dodger, and technically wasn't even a Dodger at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Was the only one at Tommy Lasorda's funeral. Right? Like,
yeah.
I was just like, man, that's Justin Turner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's my dude. That's my Titan. That's my fellow Titan.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And they did. Yeah. 2 years and $30 million. That ain't bad, man. That ain't bad.
I love it. And he's still a solid third baseman, man. He's not, like, again, he's not the greatest, but I mean, he's a solid third baseman.
He's up there. I think he was number 4 on the top 10 third baseman in the league right now. He's a 4 or 5 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
He's up there. No, he's up there. I mean, he's not the best.
I'm biased. I feel like I'm biased with him because 1, he's a Dodger, and 2, he's a Titan. You know what I'm saying? Like, same college as me, and we were there at the same time. So I'm particularly biased. I know when I'm biased, and I'm biased towards this. And he's not like the greatest of players, but to me, in my eyes, he's better than what I think he really is because he has all these other intangibles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he has these other the leadership. Again, like something small that we talk about, like with Trout. Like, Trout's a great player, but nobody ever talks about like his superior leadership and how he changes the dynamics across that. But that's because I think Trout's a dude that just kind of leads by example. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's a quiet guy. Like, remember when we were talking about last year where when Trout finally said something about the Rangers and cheating, that everybody listened because they're like, oh damn, Trout rarely ever says anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think Turner's opposite. He's like a dude that, yeah, he leads by example, but he's constantly like talking and mentoring people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about that dude. So I feel like I'm biased towards that, and I think that adds to his value as a player. And I don't think he's ever cracked 100 RBIs. I don't even know if he's ever cracked 30 home runs.
He's a solid ball player. He's a solid defender. Like you said, he's not going to break no records or anything like that, break any necks on it with his bat. But he's no slouch, bro.
Right. Yeah.
Boy can ball.
Yeah. So I was surprised to see top 5.
I believe he was 4 or 5 on the MLB's right now top players in the league for third baseman.
Yeah, I like it.
What else we got going on with the Dodgers? The Dodgers announced a ticket policy for spring training games at Camelback Ranch, a socially distanced capacity of 2,400 seats, 18% of full capacity. Tickets will be sold on a single game basis in pods of 2, 4, and 6 tickets. All seats will be reserved, including lawn pods. So that's pretty dope. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's doing that now. I know the Angels are doing, I think it's 2,400 as well, over at Tempe, which is dope. where you actually get people watching actual baseball games. You don't have to pump in the fake noise and the crowds and all the other bullshit. You actually have people there. Although if you go to an Angel game, if they're not doing well, they don't really cheer that much anyways. So pump in some crowd noise anyways. You know what I'm saying? And then your boy Mookie Betts was voted the second best player in the league right now overall. So they had the top 100. Mookie Betts is number 2. A very close number 2, but still a number 2.
Number 1 in a lot of people's eyes.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people's eyes, but he still voted number 2.
By who?
MLB, whatever. I don't care. It says number 2.
Oh. Okay.
Any other Dodgers news you want to throw out there, Artie?
I believe the Dodgers had 3 guys in the top 10 or 2 guys. I know it was 2 for sure.
2.
I saw Cody was in the top 10.
Cody was 9. I believe he was 9.
I thought I saw him at number 10.
I thought he was 9 because I know that fucking Rendon is number 8. Rendon is number 8, bro.
I just lost respect for all this.
All right. Remember they're taking part of the 2019 season as well.
I don't care.
I don't give a crap.
Not respect.
Anything.
Rendon is not a top 10 guy. He's a top 15. Top 20 for sure.
Any other Dodger news you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I just lost respect for whatever this.
That thing.
I want to see I want to see who chose this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, they put it through the what they call the shredder, and they pick all 100 players or whatever that made the biggest impact last season and a half. All right, so since you got no more Dodger shit, I got some Angels crap. Ohtani's on schedule to return as a two-way player. I should say prayer. Ohtani worked on his batting stances. Now he's fully healthy and back tattooing the ball. The biggest question, however, will the arm hold up this season? He pitched a 27 pitch bullpen. He was looking strong and topped out around 90 miles an hour on the fastball. They are not worried about the speed at the moment. They were more worried about how the arm was going to react to him actually throwing. They said the speed will come back. Here's a question for you, Artie, because I know what I want to say, but here's a question for you since you're an Angel hater. Will he?
I'm an Angel fact stater.
Will he hit 100 again, or do you think he'll stay right around 95 and try and reserve the arm, at least for the most part?
You're going to be surprised to hear me say he'll hit over 100 on the 5 freeway.
I was like, what? Because he didn't in his debut. He did hit 101, 102. But you got me there, sir. You got me. Badoon. Go.
I think he'll be mid 90s again. You know, I want to know where he's tattooing the ball for. What, a pitching machine?
Yeah.
Yeah, not impressed.
All right, well, we'll see when the live games start. Apparently, he had a knee injury that he was milking, and last year, so he wasn't hitting very well. So he was unbalanced. This is what he said. I'm just repeating shit that I heard. And apparently he's balanced again, and he's hitting the ball like, Ohtani-san.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he ever makes an All-Star team.
I don't think he makes it. Well, we'll see. I'm hoping, the Angels. I think the Angels took the biggest gamble not signing a big arm with the hopes that Ohtani can throw like Ohtani was supposed to throw. And if it backfires, Jesus goddamn Christ, they don't learn. Oh, absolutely.
I think we think he's a reliever. Let him hit, man. I think he's more valuable as an everyday player and coming in relief than pitching and being a semi-everyday player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think it takes away from him.
Here's my question. Here's a baseball question from me to you, Artie, because I don't know the answer to this, and I figured you might. If he is the DH, right, in a game, could he then be called in to be a relief pitcher? Would that be a double swap?
They eliminate the DH. Yeah, when he comes into play, they just eliminate the DH. If the DH comes into play,
what do you mean?
It becomes like the pitcher's spot.
As so he wouldn't have to not hit again because he's in the American League.
Yeah.
So
as far as I know, I mean.
So let's just say he's playing the fucking Houston assholes, and he's the DH that game. and the seventh inning, they put him in to pitch. Do they have to do a double switch, or is he just go on the mound, bro? You don't got to change anything.
Yeah, that's my understanding. It eliminates DH. He could go on a pitch, but let's say if he comes out and he's too tired to hit, and then they put someone to hit for him. That's it. Like now, it's a live position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they eliminate the DH. I believe. I'm pretty sure the DH becomes eliminated.
Now, after he stops pitching, if he gets replaced by another relief pitcher, let's just say now you get to the eighth inning, and now your setup guy comes in. Now, does he remain the DH?
No, I just said the DH gets eliminated. There is no DH now.
So it just the pitcher has to be the new batter then for that position.
Correct. You could pinch hit for him technically, and doesn't have to be the pitcher. Interesting.
I didn't know that one. I was like, hey, what happens if this?
It becomes a live. I don't want to say position, but yeah, it just becomes live now.
Okay. All right. Trout was voted the best player in baseball for the sixth time in a row. Rendon, to your dismay, was voted eighth best player in the game right now, and the best third baseman in the league right now is what they're saying. I know you hate it, and I don't want to hear it, but that's what voted. This is MLB.
I disagree by a lot.
Okay. And then we had with the Angels, Tyler Ward showed up for camp with the catchers and the pitchers, and the Angels are trying Tyler Ward as a catcher again. They're trying this experiment again. It's like, can you please stop trying to do this? It didn't work out 2-3 years ago. It's not going to work out again this year. Just stop. I think that the Angels are just trying to get Tyler Ward some reps while Pujols is there, and then once Pujols goes away, Tyler Ward will step in, and then that will be that. We will have our first baseman where he's supposed to be. So, good God, let this just be done already. Can we be in 2022 already?
I don't even know who you're talking about, to be honest.
It's okay. All my Angel fans will know what the fuck I'm talking about. All right, that's all the Angel news I got so far. You had your Dodger news. Let's get into the last couple things here so we can get the hell out of here, Dougie. MLB PECOTA projections for 2021. The only thing we got on here right now, the Yankees with 97 wins. Do you think?
Baseball?
Yes.
Where do they have the Dodgers at?
I don't know. I didn't put this down.
Neither did I?
What? Let's look at the PECOTA standings.
I never saw this. That's why I'm like, all right, you must have something up his sleeve here, because like, I liked doing the over under, dude. We could throw numbers and say how many wins, so and so is gonna get.
Right. Okay. So I have the numbers right here. So New York, the Yankees are projected at 97 wins. Tampa Bay.
Over under. I'll take the under on that one.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna take the number one of each side, and then let me know if you think that's over under.
Okay.
To my dad's dismay, he hates this part. Minnesota, they got them at 90 wins.
Damn, I like 90. Over, I guess.
Over? Okay.
Yeah, like 91.
The AL West, they got Houston with 92.
Under. Just for principle.
In the NL East, they got the Mets going in at 94 wins.
That sounds about right.
You gonna go over under?
Take over.
Okay. The NL Central, Milwaukee with 89 actually, 88.9. So we're gonna round that up to 89.
They're under, and they're not gonna win that division. The Cardinals are gonna win it.
I think the Chicago White Sox are gonna win that one. So.
Yeah, they're not in the same.
Oh wait, wrong division. Yeah, right. They got Chicago, the White Sox. They got the White Sox third in the AL Central this year, which I think is a fucking bullshit. And by about 8 games, so I think the Chicago White Sox can do better. They got Chicago Cubbies coming in at second on that one with 85. The NL West, here's a big one, Artie. How much cajones you got? How much money you got on this one? They're saying the Dodgers over under is 104 wins.
I thought you said it was that the Yankees were tops.
No, I said I didn't know the rest of them.
Oh. Yeah, I'll take the under.
You don't think the Dodgers win 104 games? You think they break triple digits, or you think they're high 90s?
Yeah, I think they break triple digits, but I'm like barely, bro, like 100, 101. I don't think they go past 104.
I mean, 101, you might as well talk about not 104, bro.
We saying over under. That means they have to go 105. I don't think they go 105.
That's a tough one. What's the
I think they're gonna have a little bit. I mean, I think they're gonna play a little bit more loose now that they don't have that pressure of winning the World Series. You know what I'm saying? Because they want it.
Yeah.
So I think I think the Cody Bellinger is a dude that I think he's gonna maybe break out again this year, like the year he won the MVP, because he doesn't have that pressure no more. You know, like I had to be the guy. I mean, he wasn't even the guy in the playoffs, but now he's a dude that does really well in the regular season. You know what I'm saying? And I think he has a shot at breaking the 50 home run marker this year. He breaks 100 RBIs. You know, he's got Mookie there. I think he starts to take on the vibe of, imagine Mookie and Turner in the same clubhouse for a full year now. Because everything felt really condensed and they were all trying to gel together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they want it together. They're loose. Yeah, man. I just think, I don't think 104, but 105. But I'll take the under, like 100, 101 maybe.
Right on. You got anything else you got to talk about before we're out of here, buddy?
Angels, do they break 500 this year?
Yes. No. Yes. On the higher end, not the low end.
So that means how many wins, Brent?
I'm going to say the Angels win 89 games this season.
Oh, get out of here.
89.
I'll take the under for sure.
On 89?
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Where do you have them winning? Low 80s,
maybe.
Low 80s? They got the Angels. Pacoda has the Angels winning 86 games. I think they got a couple extra ones there.
Let's see here. Where do you check their records?
It says the Pacoda standings, bro. Come on, get with it.
I'm trying to say what the Angels have won the last few years.
No, I don't want to hear about what they won the last few years, guy. Come on, get. Okay, stop.
What did they do to get
Stop.
better?
Stop.
What did they do to get
Stop. I just feel that they're going to win. They're not going to win the division. I'm telling you, they're going to win 89 games. I'm not saying they're winning the division.
Bro, they haven't won 89 games since 2014.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Famous words. Famous words of an Angel fan. It could happen.
Yeah. They haven't finished above 500 and, well, they went 85 and 77 one time. And that was 500, over 500. Yeah, bro, they don't. I think they break 500 though, Brent. I really do. But I mean, I think they're like, dude, they have to go 80, 82, and 80 to break 500. Man, I'm hoping they hit 82 for you, bro. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
I think they break 500, and I think they're right at 82. Sounds about right. That's about right.
All right. Well, fucking A, man. Anything else you want to talk about in sports before we get out of here?
Maybe next week. Let's start talking about some about the possible winners for the year, like the MVP, who are some dudes we're looking at. Maybe batting titles, home run titles, RBI titles.
The preseason predictions?
Yeah, preseason predictions.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, man, we could do that. Write that in the little agenda here so that we could start thinking about that for next week. And didn't we say we wanted to start talking about like picking a sport and like our favorite movie for that sport?
Yeah, we haven't really done that. So
yeah,
we did that for basketball or baseball and football, and then we stopped.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So let's see here. We are today's the 19th. Shit, man. It is. It's the 19th. Next week will be our 1-year anniversary show. It will, right? Yeah. Artie, what do you feel like doing it? What do you feel like about doing that on a Saturday? Doing that live mid morning. That way we get a little more viewership than on a Friday night.
I'm good with it.
All right. We'll
let me check my schedule.
Check the schedule before the wife beats you. All right. All right, guys. So check us out next week on Saturday. It won't be Friday night. We'll be Saturday. We'll be live on YouTube, live on pretty much everywhere we go live on. We'll be here. We'll try and sneak in some special guests. We'll see what's cracking with that. But it'll be our 1-year anniversary show, and we'll see what special things we have in store for that. Artie, any last requests or words?
Just be safe out there, mi gente. Don't be like Brent and my wife catching COVID and stuff like that. Wear your mask, wash your hands, stop licking people, Brent.
I had the black lung. Shut up.
I know, right? I'm really lucky I've been avoiding it, but I swear every time I get kind of sick, I always get a little worried. Is it COVID? But man, it seems like, I don't know if it's a vaccine or what, but it seems like we're maybe turning a corner here. What do you think, Brent?
It does sound like it. More and more people have gotten the vaccine. Over 50 million Americans have gotten the vaccine. So the numbers are going down, which is really good. So let's just keep that trend going, guys. That way we only have 18% live people at the baseball games. Let's bump those numbers. Those are rookie numbers, guys. We got to bump this shit up.
I agree. Those are minor league. Those are Angel fan numbers.
Oh.
I was gonna throw jab in there. But seriously though, my cousin was telling me she's a doctor over there in Palm Springs in Indio in particular specifically, and she was telling me how the hospital over there that she was working at, that she helps out with, the local hospital, that they were up at like 138 inpatients or something like that, and they're down to 178, and they're down to like 33.
Yeah, the numbers are definitely dwindling, which is good. They're dwindling in the right direction. So, yeah, man, fucking A. Let's listen to the professor here. He kind of knows what he's talking about. Let's just all stay safe and good and all that other fun jazz.
Yeah. So yeah, just be safe out there. I feel like we're finally getting towards that finish line where we're all gonna be a little safer and stuff like that, and protect our loved ones and whatnot. And my goal is to get out there and play golf with Brent for his birthday.
Damn, Skippy.
That's my coming out party.
I'm coming out. He wants the world to know that he's coming out. All right, guys. You guys have a great day. We'll see you guys next week. Don't forget, next Saturday, we're going to be doing it. Check our Twitter. Check our Instagram. Check just everything that me and already post on. Check it out, dude. We'll let you guys know a time. And hopefully you guys can join us for a mid-morning little drink and some day drinking. And some talking some sports and stuff like that, and having a live show and celebrating our 1-year anniversary of the Blown Save. That'll be pretty awesome. You guys, I love you guys. You guys have a very safe and wonderful week. We'll see you all next week. Peace out.